Hi there. So this is meant to be a quick illustration of these three important concepts. We have pre-self number one, who encounters pre-self number two. And in this encounter does not see the other pre-self as an actual different other being. I don't have Miss Muffet with me right now, but pre-self number two might be somebody with a lot of different habits and interests and all these different aspects to their personality, but all that is recognized at this very limited stage of recognition is the generic possibility of another particular. So pre-self number one sees pre-self number two, and at that moment realizes that pre-self number one looks the same to pre-self number two as pre-self number two looks to pre-self number one. So each sees the other and realizes, oh my gosh, that's what I look like to the other creature, the other being. That's the experience of self-othering. And so when I say that they don't see each other as the actual other, which would be little Miss Minion here, they see each other just very limitedly. One way to conceptualize what's happening here, this is actually just a canning jar lid. I don't have a mirror handy. But is to think about, instead of pre-self number one truly seeing pre-self number two, and vice versa, because this is a joint happening, pre-self number one is seeing pre-self number one in the mirror, and in so doing this is more about him or her than it is about the other, is thinking about what he looks like in the perspective of the other one as a threat as well. And so in the process, the other pre-self is blocked, right? Is not able to be seen as the actual other that it is. Of course, a further limitation of this is that because neither of these creatures at this stage, and that's what we call them pre-selves, really knows much about themselves other than the fact that they exist, they themselves, like pre-self number two, is not truly aware of being a further, more fully individuated person. So you got to start somewhere, right? But this initial confrontation is the somewhere where we start with Hegelian recognition. And so the question today is, what happens at some point in this interaction with maybe another relationship down the line that these two might have with other people that lets loose the possibility of intersubjectivity, where the mirror is dropped and there's some deeper recognition that happens. How does that transition happen? And the answer has something to do with other being.